Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Thoughts, Feelings, Emotions presents The Big One. In today's episode, the future.
Welcome to the world of tomorrow!
And no, we're not talking about Futurama, but we are talking about things that may be in the future.
Woo!
So we've got a list here of 72 things. We may not talk about all of them. We may just talk about some of the more interesting things. But they've split it up into different categories, and we're just going to talk about some of the stuff that is in those categories.
Hell yeah.
Starting with 3D printing, Dan. The building blocks of the future.
That's true. Additive manufacturing is starting to become big. I know my company's working in it.
Yep.
If you don't know what additive manufacturing is, it's 3D printing metal.
Also, they're thinking of that's how we're going to build stuff on Mars, because they need ways of putting all of the material in small packages and then building them up to make them structurally sound. So I know there's a lot of, if you go on YouTube and watch Robert Downey Jr.'s AI of the whatever it is, like YouTube original series, they have an episode where there's a bunch of people trying to build for NASA like 3D printed housing, and how they're,
I mean, it might work. It might be the only way you can do it.
well, they're trying to make use the materials that are on Mars, like the ground and everything, and like the base elements that you can find on Mars, to make like a substance that you can then 3D print to make like a brick, and it's going to be like,
Yeah, you could do that. I mean, that could be a way they bring back the Mars rover.
maybe.
Because, that's the next big thing they want to do.
Nah, we'll never get that back.
No, well, I never know.
But on this list, we've got 3D printed women. 3D printed makeup for women. And then 3D printed replacement teeth. Swarm printing system.
That's already happened, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think maybe quicker and more effective. Maybe actual, like, teeth rather than whatever they use at the moment.
Oh, like actual bone material,
Yeah,
sort of metal.
probably something like that, where you can actually 3D print teeth and then have the Tooth Fairy come and rob it all at night. Swarm bot printing systems will be used to produce large buildings and physical structures working 24/7 until they're completed. So basically,
Is that like loads of like a swarm of bots just printing things?
probably like a load of
angles.
just a bunch of them just building up a building basically all at once,
That would be
24/7.
sick.
Because you wouldn't need people working at night, or there would probably be a lot safer as well. And it's kind of like Big Hero 6 with that swarm thing, where it just creates stuff out of nothing.
Yeah, I was trying to think what I was thinking of. I think it was Destiny. Is it Destiny or was it? I don't know.
Siva. I'm thinking of Siva.
Yeah, Siva. That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, where it's sort of, that's an organic thing, isn't it, though?
Yeah, that's still cool though.
Yeah. Scan and print custom designed clothing at retail clothing stores.
They kind of already started.
Have you seen
doing
the
this in
ones
a
where they
way.
have spray-on clothes?
I have not seen that. That sounds very perverted.
No, it's the stupidest thing, because one, unless you have like an athlete's body, it doesn't look good, because it's literally all supermodels that they've used it on, and it's just the ripped shirt, like the man with the shirt, and it's just like a 3D printed on clothes. It's like a spray, and it just makes like a layer.
Yeah, so like it shows your body.
It captures your body. But if you're not,
So unless
you're super ripped and you have like a
ripped.
super proud body, and also then you have to peel it off and it's just like, and it's just a one-time thing. So you literally just,
well, luckily, I have that.
oh, everyone knows you do, Dan.
That wasn't a lie, I swear.
And then scan and print custom designed shoes. So the Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs dude, where he has just permanently,
Oh yeah, the spray on shoes, but they don't come
yeah,
off.
he just has spray on shoes, and then it's just like, well, they're stuck.
I don't know. Actually, I'm just thinking, how does that even work?
Well, his feet don't grow. He's got tiny little baby feet in there.
Yeah,
I need to watch that movie again, because that was a great movie. Same people who did Spider-Verse.
they made a sequel as well,
Yeah.
didn't they? Never
I
watched
watched
the
the
sequel.
sequel. It's also all right. They go to an island full of monsters with food. It's like Bug Snacks. It's just food-based animals. And then apparently police departments will produce 3D printed mugshots and shappies generated from a person's DNA.
What the hell are shappies?
I don't know. It doesn't give me anything. I'll Google shappies, Dan. See what a shappy is.
I'd love to know what a shappy is. What is a shappy?
Shapies. I think they made.
I mean, that'd be good for law enforcement.
Googling it?
Oh, I thought you were
No,
Googling.
I said you Google it because I had to explain what it
okay.
was.
Shappies. Is it 1P or 2Ps?
Shappies.
Shappies is an animated Australian children's TV series.
Well, they can 3D print those, I guess, from a person's DNA.
Police? Sharpies police.
Put Shappies and then 3D printed.
I don't know. 3D printed.
Riveting.
Once again, she comes up with Sharpies.
Well, we'll never know what a Shappies is. And then trash that is sorted and cleaned and turned into material that can be 3D printed. So maybe, hopefully, fix our waste problem in the world.
Which we desperately
We
need.
need to get Wally bots real quick. Like little Wallies that...
Yeah, make houses out of rubbish.
Well, people in third world countries already do that, Dan. It's just we give them all our rubbish to do it. We're not helping.
Here's your building blocks, sir.
We'll take all of your resources and build our houses out of them, and you can have all our rubbish out to make yours.
Seems like a fair deal to me, sir.
Yes, indeed. Let's move on to virtual augmented reality. So VR and AI.
And we both have VR headsets.
Yeah, I have 2. No, 3.
You
I
have
have
2.
4.
You have all
I
3.
have 4.
You have 4.
Well, I have 2 of the
all 4?
Samsung ones where you put your phone in. But my phone...
Why'd you have 2?
Because I bought one for an S7, and then they brought out a new one,
Right.
and then I got it for an S9, and then my S21 doesn't fit in either. So I can't use them unless I have an S7 or an S9 or an S10.
Well then.
And then I have the first generation of the Oculus Rift, and then I have a PlayStation VR.
I just have a PSP.
I was going to get Google Cardboard, but then I decided against it.
I mean, I suppose it's better than buying a different VR headset from Samsung each time. They're just the same headset.
Well, I didn't need to buy one, but I was just like, I can get one with my phone, so why not?
I mean,
Why not?
okay.
But what are the future experiences for VR, Dan? Well, according to this, we've got Theme Park Rise with a mix of physical Rise with VR experiences.
That's already happened.
I know. But this is more like they'll get better, basically. Like
I think they're pretty cool anyway. Like, I think it's the Alton Towers one. That's like you're on a space mission.
Maybe I've not been to Alton Towers. I actually have never been.
I
to
never
it.
buy it. I just think I've heard of it.
But I think what it'll probably be is like actual realistic graphics in the future, where you just go to a theme park and you sit on a ride and you could experience maybe landing on Mars, Dan.
Maybe landing on Mars, like the Perseverance just did.
Yeah. For future reference, we sat here for about 10 minutes before this show started because Dan wanted to watch the Mars rover landing live. And I did not care.
Yes, I did, and I'm happy I did.
I'm not. Dan, here you go. Live broadcasts of major sports games for football, soccer, hockey, and more in virtual reality.
Once again, I'm pretty sure they're already doing this.
Maybe, but they'll make it even better. So you'll be able to stand on the field, Dan, and run with all the people playing the footy balls.
Actually, that'd be really cool. I'd love to have that.
And you could stand in the goal and go, hello, and then no one in the field would be able to see you and care and not give a shit and still kick a ball right at your head.
To be fair, I'm surprised VR hasn't been more of a bigger thing since lockdowns and stuff.
Oh, it did. Like a lot of people.
Because the next one on the list is
Full-length
the next
VR
one that I
movie.
see. Yeah, okay, yeah, sure. I mean, yeah, could have that for cinemas.
Yeah. That is the way it's going to go, is because there are a load of apps that VR is already doing. And also, it won't say it, but you've got porn, because that's all that the industry is going to do. Because for some reason...
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
if you
well.
ever want to know what technology is going to take off, just look at where the porn industry goes. Because it happened with Betamax or video... cassette... No, what the fucking... tape? VHS tapes. It happened with Blu-ray versus DVD, and it's happening with VR. It's just wherever.
And then the
porn goes.
next one on the list was physical and psychological therapy done through VR.
Yeah, because they've like a lot of PTSD PTSD patients use VR to get over their symptoms or like use it as therapy. I think
It does seem very. I mean, I'm a great supporter of VR. I think it's a very good thing.
yeah, they just need to make it slimmer and fitter and not have too many.
I think they will do that.
Well, I
It's
still genuinely believe if Google wanted to, they could make it so streamlined because all they'd have to do is use their phone tech, their VR tech, and their Stadia tech, and they'd solve the problem.
I wouldn't be surprised if Samsung's working on a full blown one. I know they've done other ones in the past, but I won't be
They
surprised.
do have a full headset because they worked with HTC, I think, to make one.
Because if they put their new micro LED technology into it,
I'm sure they would.
that you have to. At some point, it will be because the micro LED technology. For those who don't know what micro LED is, it's like really tiny LEDs,
Yeah.
and it's meant to replace OLED in the future.
Well, we've also not talked about AR. So the fundamental game that everyone would probably know with AR is Pokemon Go, where it
Yes.
projects stuff into the real world. Well, not into the...
Once again, Google's got this project as well. They had Google Glass, and then they cancelled it.
And then they bought a
And
company
then North got AR glasses,
Yeah, they bought a company.
and they bought North.
Yeah. And I don't know, I think it'd be a mix between virtual and AR, because Microsoft's got their HoloLens that we've not heard about for fucking ages.
Yeah, but it's massive on the
Yeah,
head.
but I think what they're trying to do is condense that down. That's why they've not done that. Also, from what people have seen, it's just a box, and it's not as immersive as they tried to make it look like in all their videos and press tech. Because it's literally just...
But like, when it was so immersive, like the box on the head was like it was bigger than the Oculus Rift. It was massive.
I think you was looking... There was another one that was slightly smaller. I can't remember what it was. But there was the image that people were seeing was very small. It wasn't a full picture. It wasn't like everywhere around you was the actual thing. It's just like a tiny little square that you look at and then you can do stuff on it. It wasn't like everything is projected into the real world. It's on that tiny little square. You can't just have everything and everything coming over. So you won't be able to get like the Minority Report where you can just bring stuff in front of you using...
Yeah. I mean, that is hard to do because you have to
have
like,
tracking.
get sensors on. Yeah, you better track hand movements and stuff. That's really hard to do.
I look forward
And
to
I
it.
don't
Because
I don't think it's quite possible yet, but I think it will.
Well,
be
you look at the
possible.
Kinect. As
the
much
Kinect
as a
doesn't-
commercial failure as that thing is, it is highly technological in what it was able to do with tracking, motion tracking, and everything.
Yeah, but
and
it
also-
can't track finger movements as such.
Yeah, but I'm sure if they refined it and it wasn't a commercial failure, it would have done well. Because the only reason that they didn't really utilize it was because no gamers want to do physical exercise whilst playing a game, except if they're fully
The real
immersed.
thing that will blow up all the technology will be batteries. That's the biggest thing that's holding everything back
Well,
right now.
Dan, if we had from our TFE prior or whatever, we had wireless charging things, so you'd just be able to do that, so you wouldn't have to need batteries.
I don't even think wireless charging would. You would have to have. Because what I'm talking about, the reason why, like, if you look at all the biggest components right now, like VR headsets or whatever, you notice they're not quite very powerful compared to high-end PCs. And the reason why that is because the amount of power they drain.
This is why I'm saying Google should just use their Stadia tech, because you'd solve all the problems with the high-end PC, and you would just be able to stream
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
high
you just
4K
stream the.
video into the headset. You wouldn't need as many components because all you'd be doing is receiving images. You just have to figure out the disconnect.
It'll just be the display, right?
Yeah, it'd just be a display. You could use glasses. If you could stream it to your face and it real time works, because you'd have to solve the late.
Maybe that is what
You
they're
wouldn't-
doing. Maybe that's why they cancel Stadia.
No, they're not. They're just like canceling shit. But all you would have to do is figure out the latency problem between what you do physically in the real world and what is getting streamed to the thing. So you'd need a lot of tech to do that, but you would just only need a screen and a receiver just to be able to stream the 4K or 8K or whatever K you want to have in the glass. That's why I'm
Yeah,
just confused as to why they're not doing it, because I feel like if they utilize their Stadia tech to do it, or any of them use streaming rather than having high-end like components in the thing, it would lighten all of the things, and you could put all other tech in there to fix the other problems.
I imagine they definitely would have thought about it, and there probably is a reason.
I'm
why
sure
they're
there
not doing
is a reason, but I also think maybe they haven't.
I think maybe some of the reasons is maybe people
Okay,
don't want it,
this one though,
and then
I generally think is
Ooh.
cool. Physical drone racing through VR headsets.
that's happening, isn't
Well,
it?
no, they're doing drone racing, but you can't see it through your headset yet. Or you could probably.
Oh, so it's like glasses and
Yeah.
it's not like VR headsets.
Yeah. Because
Oh, that's it. That'd be easy done.
I
'cause
love drone
they have-
racing. Drone racing was one of the funnest things to watch. It's just people with drones just flying them through corridors. I used to follow a channel before, and it was just drone racing. I was like, this is so sick. Because it's such a.
I mean, they have 360 cameras. It'd be easy enough to do.
Yeah, it's so cool. I just love drone racing.
And then the other two items on this list is VR speed dating and then VR schools.
Yeah, VR speed dating is kind of like what Mark Zuckerberg wants for the future of social technology, is because he just wants everyone to be able to go, hey, look, we're in a room, and now we could talk, and you don't have to leave your house, and you use Facebook servers to use it, so we keep getting money.
Imagine if that's the future. You just never leave your house, and then you do your communication through VR headsets.
Well, Dan, it's going to be the apocalypse soon. Everyone's going to be in bunkers. You're never going to be able to see anyone anyway. We'll need all of
The
this.
flat earthers are coming for us.
Yeah, I think, well, this would have been good for the current day and age. For education and training, we'll see a large number of modules done in both virtual and augmented. Because I think if you can get kids to not have to go to school for like an education, it would probably, it's kind of a problem at the moment because we don't have an infrastructure, but I'm sure if we did it in the future, we'd have a structure to it. And you'd still be
Yeah,
I just think of the
I think-
social element that probably fucks kids over.
yeah. I was about to say that. I was like, how you can do the social element?
Well, it's the gaming, because you still do the gaming, but you can
Yeah,
you can
I mean, I saw,
physically see them. That's the thing.
There's people have avatars in the VR world, and then you still see yourself, and all your hand movements get
I
replicated
learned something
in
really interesting
VR.
about VR though. Apparently, if you play VR, your brain remembers it as if it was a real event, compared to
Oh wow!
because it's your brain is physically doing the actions with the thing reacting to what you're doing. So your brain perceives it as a real event. So if you're playing like a
Oh wow!
So if you're playing like a game in space, you'll remember events as if they were memories, not as you recounting you playing a game. So if you were to like play a VR simulator and you walked to a grocery store and you picked up something, you'd remember that as a memory, not as you playing a video game.
That is true, actually. I'm just thinking, actually, like me playing Beat Saber. So I remember.
You'd remember the blocks coming towards your face as an experience, not you playing a
it's
game.
like-
That's the thing. You remember shit as a memory, not as an actual experience. So if you could get the VR experience for kids to play games like that, for like break time when they're done with school, you could potentially solve the issue of isolation and whatnot. You just have to have a decent-ish connection.
It would be cool. It would be cool. It'd be interesting world. Interesting.
Speaking of interesting things, flying and driving stuff.
Yeah, I mean drones. You like drones?
Well,
and drone racing?
Amazon wants to bring all the world's packaging to drones and have a massive airship.
I still don't think that's going to be possible.
I think because their plan is to have a massive airship with all of the stuff in it as like
There's
a
too many
mobile
safety.
as a mobile hub.
There's way too many safety precautions about it. It won't happen.
Dan, do you know what can solve all of that? Billions and billions of dollars.
It's just not going to happen. It just isn't.
It might. You never know. But even if they don't have their stupid airship thing that they want, they'll still have warehouses that will pick up stuff and fly it. Because
Yeah,
I don't think it will take off in America because they'll just get shot down. But
exactly. That's my point. There's so many things
in
behind
the
it.
UK, we'll probably have it. They'll probably.
I mean, I'm almost surprised drones aren't banned. I mean, they are, aren't they? Some places.
You have to have a
can't fly in
license.
a public space.
You have to have a license if you want to fly them, and you can't fly them in public areas. I have a drone license because I have a drone.
I do have drones, but I have a drone license. I don't fly them, so.
Yeah, you need one if you're going to public places and you don't have your own private property.
Yeah, but I can fly at my house. I'm fine.
Yeah, but you also have to. You can't fly it into your neighbor's area because you can get fined for that.
No.
Because you could be
just
perving
fly
on
it,
them
mate.
whilst they're sunbathing topless.
Although technically, if I just fly it above my house,
Yeah, that's the problem. You can't fly it above a certain area, I think, because once
No.
you can see over something, then you kind of technically violating airspace rules in terms of private property.
Kind of mad, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, but apparently fireworks dropped from drones. Our ability to ignite and drop fireworks from the sky will dramatically change both how they are made and artistically used to display them.
I just feel like that's an accident waiting to happen.
I also feel like you don't need fireworks because you can have drone displays and you can do a drone display as
People do that, and it looks.
Well, the Olympics for
looks
China
better.
was drones. Like that, their openings.
Olympics of China. You mean Olympics of Tokyo?
That was the one. Whatever. Same thing. No, they're not. But don't get mad at me.
I didn't
But
say
their
it.
opening ceremony or closing ceremony was drones, and it was pretty damn impressive because it's all automated and you can get displays and shit.
It is cool. I do like it. I like drones.
I like it a lot more than just standard fireworks because fireworks are loud and annoying, whereas drones you can't hear because they're above and they're just flying. They're quite quiet. And then for some odd reason we got banner pulling drones, old school advertising
like
brought
such a-
closer to Earth. So it's basically the old like biplane where you fly it and you got a little banner pulled behind it going "fuck you" or something. Cool.
It's so stupid.
See, this one's also stupid. Bird frightening drones for crops like sunflowers where birds can destroy an entire field in a matter of hours.
Well, you just run a drone into a bird's neck and break
Or you
his
have
neck.
the shotgun drone that we talked about in a later an episode of TFE.
That's true. That was funny.
The shotgun drone, where the British Army built a drone with a shotgun attachment, or a flamethrower attachment, or a handgun
And the
attachment.
Amazon security drone as well.
Yeah. No, that would work. That one's creepy. See, this one.
And then to carry on by that point, livestock monitoring drones.
See, I think we'd probably
mean-
move away from livestock if we can get the self-grown like meat product thing happening, like lab-grown meat.
One of the things they've added to the Mars rover Perseverance, they've added a drone to it
Yeah.
now, so they can now fly drone images from the sky, from the surface.
Yeah, it's like a little drone that flies a couple meters away from it, and then comes back.
Yeah, that's pretty cool though. I wasn't there before.
Yeah, that's Dan, you'd love this. On YouTube's Robert Downey Jr. thing, they actually talk about it.
I don't know about much about this Robert Downey Jr. YouTube.
The Robert Downey Jr. has a YouTube original series that was behind the paywall of YouTube Premium, but then they made everything on YouTube Premium available, but you have to watch ads if you don't have YouTube Premium. So,
Which is basically YouTube.
Yeah. because they realized that not many people were buying YouTube Premium, even though it's worth it, because fuck ads. But it's like Robert Downey Jr. goes and watches a bunch of he doesn't, but he's just the host, and it's just them going and exploring a bunch of things. And you can watch one where they talk about how they're going to Mars and building 3D stuff, and then there's one where they kind of explore what the Mars rover is going to be doing. I think I can't remember if it's Robert Downey Jr. I might be mixing it with some other program, but I'm pretty sure there's a
Anyway, cool. Yeah, I love the Mars rover.
prankster drones. Dan, send random stuff to random people and video their reactions.
That just doesn't sound good. It just doesn't. Once again,
The
I feel like
shotgun
there's gonna be a
drone.
lot of
Prank your
security around
friends
here.
by shotgunning them in the face.
I feel like if drones do take off even bigger than they are now, there's going to be even more security behind them. As in, like, you're not going to be able to have a camera on it.
I don't.
I think that's what's likely to happen.
Maybe.
I think only cameras you can have maybe is a closed feedback camera.
Infrared. So all you can see is.
Well, yeah, there's closed feedback. So but closed feedback means the camera footage only goes back into the drone itself and nowhere else.
Or you just have it all encrypted.
Yeah,
And then
but
it
the point is
self-blows up after 5 minutes.
Yeah, but it's still kind of a closed feedback system at that point.
Well, you can't
only-
record,
it's
you're
only-
going live.
Yeah. The entertainment drones as well. Yeah, we talked about this.
Yep, shotgun your friend in the
Ah.
face.
And I
Post
wouldn't say
to
it's
YouTube.
entertainment.
There's always pranks of people going and doing stupid shit where they pull guns on people and then have to deal with the consequences. And that's a prank for some odd reason. Anyway,
Well, carrying on with
driverless
transportation.
things. cars and transportation with driverless technology.
Which is, it's starting to take off now. And honestly, the picture we have on this footage, that looks insane.
Well, yeah, it's a man sitting in a car with no driver, and it's a massive display, massive screens, all comfort. Doesn't have to do anything. He's not even facing the wheel. Madman. And it looks like... But yeah, I've always just believed that the driverless cars are such a good way to go, because long journeys are so boring when you're driving. I don't like them. I like driving, but I don't like...
I don't mind.
I don't hate it, but I just think I could be doing other stuff. And also...
Yeah, but I kind of relaxing.
Yeah, but it would also make like road trips with mates so much better, because you'd actually be able to do stuff in the car. Like, you'd actually be able to have fun stuff.
That is
Like,
true.
you imagine a PlayStation or something set up in the back of the car, and you'd be able to play that whilst driving to a location.
No, you're on a road trip with your mate. What's the first thing you do? Call a PlayStation.
Well, what else are you going to do? Play cards? You could,
Yeah, play
that's
cards.
what I mean. You could do anything.
Or-
You could watch a movie with your mates sat in the back of the car. It's just so much more entertainment value.
Well, the first thing on this list is queuing stations for driverless cars as a replacement of dwindling number parking lots. I don't know what that means.
Basically because we don't have enough space to have all the cars that we have and car space. Like in London, for instance, where you have to pay for parking and you basically have time limits on where you can actually park, and there aren't many parking like structures for people to actually go into.
Yeah, because there's too many cars.
Too many cars for London, and that's why they're trying to get people out of London and not have cars. Because we don't have any space for cars to park, but we have more cars than we have parking spots. So basically, it would I imagine what would be is you have like an Uber sort of thing where their car just comes, picks you up, and then goes away. So there would never be you wouldn't need a car anymore. Or you could have your own one, and then you wouldn't need to worry about Uber and shit. But if you can't afford one, then you could just have an Uber or something pick you up and then go. And then you just wouldn't need to park your car, but you'd still be able to get a car when you need to, and you wouldn't have to deal with public transport and everything, and the whole public transportation system would fall. Or they'd have to build in driverless public transportation.
And it means that apps like Uber will get rid of the drivers.
Well, they're already trying to. Like, Google and Uber and Lyft are all trying to, jump on the thing, because once you don't have to pay employees, your profits skyrocket.
That's
and
true.
they also treat their employees really badly anyway. So why would they not care? They're just trying to get this as fast as possible. Like, they're all getting sued by each other because they're all stealing each other's ideas, and they're all going, "Nope, I don't want to have to deal with these consequences. I just want all Uber is trying to do is limp until they can get driverless cars, because they're hemorrhaging money, and they just need driverless cars to kick off, and then they'll be set, because they'll have the infrastructure of all the people who use Uber, and then they won't have to pay employees, and they'll just make all the money off of driverless cars. That's all they're trying to do, is limp their way till the driverless car technology is sufficient enough.
Have you ever used Uber?
Twice. No, 3 times.
I've never used it. Don't leave the house.
It's fine. I only used it because it was the only one available, and I needed to get somewhere real quick, and I was in London and I needed to go to a movie, and I was like, and I was trying to fucking go across a bridge that wasn't there, because Google Maps was like, because Google Maps took
I've had that before.
Because Google Maps took me to a location, and it was like, go to a ferry to cross the river, and I'm like, that doesn't help me, because I can't. The ferry wasn't running, and it was like half an hour before the ferry was even there, and then I was like, well, okay. Show me the other way to get to it, not on this. And it was like there was a bridge 40 minutes down the road, and I need to be there in 20 minutes. And I was just like, fuck it, I'll call an Uber, because it's London, and there's going to be an Uber. So I got an Uber, and it took me 10 minutes to get to where I needed to be. And I was just like, this is so much better. I went and saw birds and prey.
I think once on Google Maps, it tried to get me down to walk on a staircase, but it just kept leading to a wall. I just said, go walk through the wall.
I mean, it could be worse. It could be Apple Maps. Which is just broken.
We didn't talk about Apple Maps. We don't do that here.
But I'm trying to think. The other time I used Uber, well, I just don't like Uber because Uber Eats is a thing, but they don't have anything here. And apparently they have a partnership with McDonald's as the exclusive, like, delivery service for McDonald's, but they don't do it here, which bugs the shit out of me. because I'm like, I want McDonald's and I have Uber and I can't use their stupid offers that they keep giving me, like 15% off your first order or £15 off your first order. And I'm like, well, yeah, because I don't like anything that's around here because you don't do the McDonald's that does drive-through.
Here's one that is an interesting one: is that in-car advertising. So all these self-driving apps and everything in their cars, they will have advertising inside of them.
Yeah, it'll be like public transportation where you just have those ads that play, and then you'll have to pay maybe like a premium to use the actual car's display to use other things if you want to get rid of them.
Yeah.
Or otherwise they'll just be an ad.
Be interesting, interesting way of doing ads again.
Also,
I'm actually really excited for the future.
I look forward to it. I don't know if we'll get any of it. But the
I
one
reckon
thing
I
that
reckon it's
always
possible.
has interested me about driverless cars is if you're using them as an Uber-style service and you have a heart attack, will the car take you to a hospital or will the car take you to your destination?
I think that's the thing.
Because I
is
always
ways
just
of-
imagine an old lady having a heart attack going to her children's birthday party, and it's just the car rocks up, and the kids open the door to say hi to grandma, and there's just dead grandma in the back of the car.
They may have a distress button.
Maybe. Or because of all the sensors and shit and the way health tech goes now, they'll have a better understanding. And you could upload,
I reckon there will be something.
and you'll have like a
I
wrist
can see it happening.
watch or something. Like you have a Fitbit, and all that data will be sent to the car, and it will just give you like the car will monitor that, I imagine. But I do love the image of just an old lady rocking up dead in a car as children's open the door.
You love that image, do
I
you?
love the image because it's just
you
it's-
love old grannies dying.
It's just funny to me. I don't know why. It's just the
We now
it's
know
just
that Danny's
the
a granny
image
murderer.
as like a small child running up to say hello to her grandma as a driverless car pulls up, and just the
She's
sheer
just dead.
terror in her face as grandma's just dead in the back seat. Oh, I just love that image so much.
I think that's the last interesting one
You don't think
on this list.
Grand Prix and stuff like that?
What's already happening with Formula E?
Yeah, but I mean, I like that idea because it's less dangerous, but it's also you can have massive swinging robot arms trying to hit you.
I mean, it's not really that undangerous. I mean, they've added the Halo. I don't know if you saw it a few weeks back.
No, I don't follow
Um,
Formula One.
So previous years they had, a couple of years ago, they invented something called a Halo, which is essentially exactly what Halo you imagine it is. It's like a metal ring that goes around the driver's head,
Yeah.
and it basically saves their life if they crash, which wasn't there before.
Do you know what would?
And they
Do you
forced
know
them to
what
have it.
driverless cars would ruin? NASCAR.
What?
Because that is
Yeah.
the entire sport of that is just people driving into each other or trying to drive around in a circle. But it's people crashing. That's why people go see NASCAR. And if you have all the safety measures of driverless cars, you won't get any crashes. It would just be a perfect drive, and it would be highly boring. Unlike NASCAR, which is already highly boring, it'll be even more boring.
The trouble is with racing, you can't mix electric and manual cars because electric will always win.
Yeah. You just look at every electric hybrid that's out there, and it's already faster than the average petrol car.
Yeah, the fact
Like, doesn't even
I
the
think
Bugatti
the Roadsters can be so
doesn't
fast.
the Bugatti use electric as well, or is that still just petrol?
I think I have heard of an electric Bugatti.
Because I'm definitely sure there is an electric Bugatti, but I'm pretty sure the current fastest lap is like 336 miles an hour, and then. Or no, 306.
The biggest-
I can't remember what it is, but it's
The
just
biggest problem
pure
with
petrol.
the biggest problem with electric cars is actually like you can make them a lot faster and then you have to slow them down so it doesn't break the car.
Yeah, because tires is tires.
No, it's the torque. It's the torque in the engine. It will break the axle.
But I also think it's the tire
It would just
because
break it in half.
they've
Yeah, it's that as well.
'cause
But
I think if-
it could
I
just
think-
break it.
the first Bugatti, if you went max speed, the tires would last 12 minutes, but the fuel tank would only last 9. So the only reason why your car wouldn't basically explode itself is because the petrol would run out before the tires would shred themselves apart. I think they've managed to
Yeah.
get that up, but that was the problem that they had for ages, is that no matter what they couldn't get the tires to last longer at full max speed at like 265 miles an hour. I think they've improved it a lot since then. That was like the first Bugatti that came out. That was like massive.
I think that's it for cars.
Electric car charging in less than 5 minutes. Yeah, that seems inevitable. Because I imagine what we'll have is...
Once again, batteries.
I imagine what it will be is more or less just like a bumper car, where it's just a continuous electric stream just pumped into the back of it, like wirelessly, or using kinetic energy, and it will just be as the car moves across, it will produce the energy and it will pump it into the car or something like that.
I think it's just gonna be more batteries. Soon as they as soon as they commercialize solid state batteries.
Or just solar
That's
panels
whatever.
on the roofs of cars, and you'll be fine.
Once again, that's not gonna happen.
They have them.
Sorry.
Solar panels on the roof. Not in the Britain.
Yeah, but it doesn't provide enough
Not in
electricity.
Yeah, but it's not for those. It's for like the radio and stuff, so it's not draining the actual battery of the car. Like for stupid shit. So you'll be able to charge your television or something or your phone, but you won't be using your actual car battery. You'll be using the sun.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So it's not wasting the car's battery. It's wasting a separate battery that's using the sun's to recharge. So you're not wasting it. Let's go on to Internet of Things. For whatever reason, that's the name they chose for this subsection. Smart.
Yeah, this list is from 2016, by the way.
Smart chairs, smart beds, and smart pillows. I have seen.
Those all exist.
I was gonna buy a smart duvet, which is a self.
It's such a dumb thing.
I love it. It's basically a duvet that's air compressed, and it pumps hot air or cold air depending on whether or not it's hot or cold, and it folds itself out so it sets the bed for you. It's brilliant.
It's the most lazy thing I've ever heard.
I love it. I love the idea of it, but then they fucked up and they couldn't deliver it to me, and I needed money, so I can't.
Just make your bed in the morning.
No, it's not that. It's the hot and cold thing that I liked. Because I just I just want sometimes to have my bed warm or cold depending on the weather. Because in the fucking heat of the British, because British people are not designed
that
for
is
heat.
true.
It's so hot when it's hot. It's like 32 degrees, and then
Americans don't understand.
No, Americans understand because they have hot weather.
Well,
But
they have AC in their house.
Yeah, they have AC. We don't have AC. We have fans. That's our way.
And their houses are made of wood,
They're also
so all the heat goes
like
out with them.
the problem with because Texas currently is having massive cold weather, and their problem with those houses is they're designed to let out heat. So all of those houses are suffering. All of our houses are designed to keep in heat. We have the exact opposite problem. All of our things are kept to keep heat in, and all of their houses are used to keep the cold out. No, to get the heat out. So if we swapped houses, they'd be fine and we'd be better. But because they live in hot weather most of the time, their solution is much easier, but then they can't deal with it. And I'm just like, eh.
Yeah. One of the other people.
I want to know what a smart chair is.
Smart chair? Well, it's probably just a chair that like you have a button that does
literally chiropractors your back so it doesn't fucking break.
Maybe.
Smart pillow. I imagine I have Bluetooth.
I'm pretty sure that exists.
There's ones I imagine they're talking more about comfort and making your head not snap at the bit. But
there's a smart everything.
But I like the ones with the speakers in them so you can play music and shit through them because they're always good.
You can even buy a smart condom now.
Does it have a little screen on it that says if you're pregnant or not?
No, it connects to your phone and tells you how good you are in bed.
How would it know? How many pumps?
It has pressure sensors on it.
Right.
Yeah, and it does tell you how many pumps, and it tells you pumps per minute, your average speed.
I gotta get me one of these. Is it reusable? Because if it's reusable, that's a gross thing to have to do.
It's not reusable.
Oh,
Unfortunately,
so sad.
I think you get a box from them, like you can have those two ones.
Sensor-laced clothing. There we go, Dan. How many pumps you are? Yeah, I think sensor-laced clothing is just going to be monitoring your health. It's going to be the new thing. Rather than wearing a smartwatch or something like that, your clothes will just be able to tell. Or have lights on them. I always do love that.
It'd be great if one day we can get rid of the smartphone. Imagine it will happen. Just have smart glasses, maybe.
I imagine it's good because they've got contact lenses that may have displays in them. And I think those are going to be the future.
I don't see that ever happening.
They're working on
personally.
them. They're just...
I don't see it happening. How do you power it? You can't put a battery
every
in
time you blink, kinetic energy. Just the tiniest...
Well, so you can't wear contacts all the time anyway. You have to take them out.
No, but you wouldn't be using them when you're sleeping anyway, so...
Yeah.
But...
print and pin payment systems. biometric mark.
I imagine in the future we're gonna have a chip in our arm that we just use to pay for everything, like contactless.
I think it could happen,
I'd
but
be
I
fine
still
with it.
doubt it would happen.
You probably have a lot of regulations, but it's all those conspiracy theories people that go, oh, they're going to try to chip chips in us so they can track us. Like, everyone's not got a smartphone already where they can track us anyway.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I'll take the convenience of having a chip in my arm so I can tap a thing and I don't have to worry about it. Yeah.
I think it's more about I just don't want to chip my arm.
I don't.
For no other reason than I don't want to chip my arm.
Yeah, but they'll do it to your children and then you'll be fine. You wouldn't know.
I just don't. I've got this kind of weird fear of cyborg or becoming a cyborg.
See, I have the
which is
complete
weird.
opposite. I'm all up for it. I am one of those people who
Oh no! I'd rather just be dead than become a cyborg.
I'd love it. I want augmentations. I want the ability
Oh,
to
no.
have stuff pumped into me. I want a display
Not
in
me.
my arm. I want the body modification to make lifting easier. I want all of that. I want the fucking 3D holographic projection from my eyes. I want it all. I look forward to the cyberpunk future.
Next one, I'm pretty sure also exists: smart plates, bowls, and cups to keep track of what we eat and
The
drink.
spaghetti fork
I've-
that spins. So you can
Well, there's actually a smart fork that keeps track of how many bites you have and how much you eat.
I like the spaghetti fork that spins so you can spin your spaghetti because you're too
How lazy are you?
No, I don't use it. I just love the idea because it's so stupid. Like, this is the future. You can spin your spaghetti. Smart bowl.
so-
I want a smart bowl. Is that like it never?
Keep track of how much you eat, how much soup it is, how much soup you're eating.
It seems dumb.
Yeah, it does. And so, next one seems dumb. Is a smart bin that will signal for a dustbin lorry when they're
That
full.
one's useful. Because if
It's just not going to work. That's not
no, because it
practical.
would be driverless cars. It would just be the same thing. It would just be a car that
Emissions.
it would be electric.
It's still emissions.
Yeah, but it would be less.
It still has a carbon footprint.
Yeah, but it would be the same thing as a regular bin, but instead of it being
It'll be even more less if you had a weekly thing.
yeah, but it was still yeah, but it would be the same sort of thing where it's just driving around picking up stuff, and it will collect
I
other
think
people.
it's
It won't be
stupid.
this. It will be a bin like lorry. It will be the same thing that happens, but it will be on a more regular basis, and it will be
I don't see it
it will
happening.
condense it. Ownership
Um,
networks, as we learn to track the location of everything we own, will also track the changing value of each item to create a complete ownership network. So, like
Aha.
those little,
Smart tiles.
yeah, those things where you just have all of them on your. I need to get some of them because then I can put them on my
S-
luggage and shit.
Self-retrieving shoes. When you call them by name through your smartphone, the shoes will come to you.
Oh, that one's great. They already have self-lacing.
not-
They already have self-lacing shoes. Like Nike's already made
Yeah, but
self-lacing shoes because of the Back to the Future and shit like that.
I wonder how they've done that.
It's little motor.
Is it actual self-lacing? or
It's
is it-
motors in the bottom of the shoe, I think, that then pull. It's like those ones where it's like it's the certain way that the laces are laid out that all they have to do is pull.
Yeah.
So it will just tighten around, and it's like a slip-on shoe, and then you just have the laces that
yeah,
tighten.
fair enough.
It's quite cool. I do want a pair because they're actually quite nice looking,
Uh,
but they're fucking expensive. They're like $2,000 plus.
And then smart mailboxes that will let you know when your mail has arrived.
I have seen.
and how important it is.
I've seen a picture of like people going in Americas because they have post boxes where they have the little flag that you
Yeah,
flip up
yeah.
to when you get mail, and it's just like the future, highly complex, and like tells you when your mail's here, or a box, and you just flip up a little flag, and it tells you that your mail's here, and you can look out a window. See, we kind of got that
You
at
know
the
what?
moment because we got like Ring doorbells and shit.
Yeah, but that's the point. Like, I don't see the point of. I do see the point of American mailboxes is because they have so many houses and the postman's lazy and doesn't want to go to each house.
Well, that's the old image of the post boy on a bicycle just throwing the newspaper, and this just
yeah,
hit.
the lazy can't be bothered to walk.
Yeah.
Over here, no.
I
you
did
walk.
I did a paper round. I had to get off my bike and go up to the door and push it through the letterbox.
That's how
in
it
the-
is over here. We do things proper over here. We do.
We put far more effort into things. I'd rather do the lazy
Clearly.
American way. I'd rather just throw that newspaper at the window.
Now, I put effort into everything I do. That's why my podcasts are more edited than yours are.
No. My podcasts are edited highly. Look at this great editing that I've done.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah,
Let's move on.
to health tech. Ooh, speaking of health tech, we've been talking about it. Prosthetic
Are we?
limb. Well,
What?
we were talking about like health clothing and shit, where it just
Oh, yeah.
hyper personalized, precision based pharmaceuticals produced by 3D pill printers. So
I think that's kind of happening. They've done like 3D food and stuff.
yeah, but
No.
this is like pills, so it's like highly. It will be like every ingredient that they need, and it will be like a capsule that is actually 3D printed, so you don't get that shell thing that dissolves. It would just be
Yeah, I suppose like the idea that you take one pill instead of having like take 50.
yeah, and it would just be like the right amount for the right time, and it won't overdose you. Ingestible data collectors filled with sensors to give daily internal health scan and reports. See, these are a thing that I've seen, and they're creepy as fuck. Because they're like used.
So what's this?
So basically, it's tiny little robots that will just track your blood pressure and stuff by like flowing around. Just it's kind of like that spinach that we were talking about on TFE, where
yes.
it's just tiny little robot things that will then just send a signal whether or not they detect something wrong or like irregular. And they've just got to. All they're trying to do is trying to figure out how to stop the immune system from trying to attack them. Because that's the.
Oh, wow.
Well, I don't know if it's that, but I imagine that's a problem because unless they can get the immune system to not think it's a threat, then they've got.
Titanium?
Maybe. But it's also.
I'm pretty sure titanium, your body doesn't recognize as a threat.
I'm sure there's some stuff that, but it's just kind of like, well, if we gotta have it so it's sensing. But yeah, it's just like sending to your phone if you like. It could predict if you're gonna have a heart attack, basically, because it will be able to track the rhythm of your heartbeat, and then if it senses an irregularity because of just that, you'll be able to send it. Or if your blood pressure's too high, or if you've got too much fat in your system, it will just be sending stuff to your phone, going, "You should eat more, or eat less," or it'll be good for people with diabetes and stuff because they'll be able to track their blood pressure, blood sugar, and stuff like that.
I mean, I see the positives behind it. I don't see why it's all negative.
No, I don't think it's a negative, but I think it's kind of just an interesting thing.
I think like with everything like we have talked about and what we're going to talk about, there's going to have to be a lot of regulations in place. A hell of a lot.
Oh yeah, because as soon as you have some off-market brand thing going in there, it'll ruin the entire thing because no one will trust it. Because that's the problem. If you don't have regulations, then anything can go, and then it'll be a lot of trial and error at the beginning, and if too much error happens, people won't trust it, and you'll have to spend millions in marketing trying to get it back up. But I think peer-to-peer health insurance, I don't know what the fuck that means.
Who knows? It's going to be something to do with America's health insurance.
Yeah, it's like,
real-time blood scanners. We talked about that for diabetes.
prosthetic limbs.
Prosthetic limbs controlled by AI.
Yeah, well, I don't think controlled by AI is a good idea. But prosthetic...
Yeah, it's like, what's it going to do? What's AI going to do?
But prosthetic limbs that you can control using AI, you're in control.
Oh, yeah, I know what you mean. I know what it means now.
Yeah.
Like a bendable leg.
Yeah. Also on Robert Downey Jr.'s AI thing. And all of that. They also had the text-to-speech thing that Google has, like where it for people who have like those disabilities where their speech is murmured or they lose the ability to talk. They've got their Google AI assistant is monitoring their like speech pattern, and then it converts it back to the way that they speak. Because if you have video, or
wow!
Because there was a famous American footballer, I think, who got the thing that Stephen Hawking had. ALS.
Yeah.
ALS, isn't it?
I don't think it's ALS. I could be wrong there. We'll find out very quickly.
And he lost his ability to speak and his movement, and Google was working on their AI translation thing. And because he's done...
motor neuron disease.
That's the one. But isn't it called ALS?
It's MNS. MN. M&D.
But wasn't it the ALS challenge that was the thing that happened ages ago, where people were pouring
What's
buckets?
ALS?
Wasn't it ALS that people were pouring buckets
I
of
don't know
water?
what's ALS.
ALS. Do the ALS challenge.
What's it mean?
So the one where people pour a bucket of water.
It's motoric electrical sclerosis.
That's the one. But that also infected his speech speech, I think. And basically, because he'd done a load of interviews and stuff, they could take his speeches and get the way he pronounced words before, and then add, get him to say a bunch of words as he speaks currently, and then use that program to, when it hears what he says currently, convert it back to how he spoke before and pump it through a speaker so that you could hear him talk normally, like clearly as how he was speaking before. And it was really interesting. And it's kind of, it wasn't perfect, like it still had a long way to go, but it was actually really interesting to see someone actually hear their own voice again for the first time in ages. And it was very emotional. Like, it was very heartfelt. And I think that...
Well, we'll talk...
Yeah, go on. Go. No,
Sorry,
go.
I was going to say, we'll talk a bit more about AI later.
Yeah. I just think it's fascinating what we can do.
There is a big section of AI. We'll go back into it in a minute. FaceTime checkups without needing a doctor's appointment. That's already happening with COVID.
Yep. I need...
Full body physical health scanners offering instant AI medical diagnosis.
That's
located
what I was saying about with the in-body things.
Internal intraoral cameras for smartphones and DIY dental checkups.
I don't know what that means.
I think it means like you put a camera up your ass.
For dental checkups?
No, but
is that how you get? Is that how your doctor? Is that how your dentist has been checking your teeth, Dad? Is shoving a phone up your ass? I would change dentists. You need to change dentists, my man. If that's what your dentist is doing to check your teeth and shoving a phone up your ass, you've got a wrong dentist.
I think it means like similar things, like put like cameras in your mouth or put cameras down your nose or cameras up your ass, like similar things. It's gonna be.
I do love the.
Like,
We're gonna get an X-ray of your teeth. It's perfectly safe. They leave the room.
I mean, I get why, but
yeah, I do like that idea. I get why. Moving on to AI, artificial intelligence.
Woo! AI is definitely the future of everything.
Well.
100%.
We'll get a new Harry Potter book series by an AI, because best-selling biographies written by artificial intelligence. I don't know if it would be a biography, because what the...
I would worry about that.
I imagine science fiction and fantasy and stuff written by AI would take off. Like, there are a lot of people trying to work on AI to write books, because there are those programs where if you feed it a bunch of text, it will create a similar recreation using prior knowledge. So people have fed it like movie scripts, and then it creates a new movie, and then it's like terrible. I think there's a channel that is doing. It will feed an AI a bunch of movie scripts or from a similar topic, and then try and make the movie that the AI produces.
When producing AI, you have to be able to limit its intelligence. Because if you don't limit its intelligence in some way or another, it will
hit the singularity and then overthrow us and reach enlightenment.
Even the simplest form of AI, if you don't limit it by somehow, it will.
Well, you've still got to give it the Asimov's laws of robotics, those 3 laws where it can't hurt a human, it has to serve a human, and what's the other one? There's 3?
Oh, I don't remember.
It has to protect. It can't harm a human. It has to serve humans, and it can't act in its own self-interest. I think I can't remember. I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, that sounds
Keep talking.
And then the next one's legal documents written by AI. I can see that happening, but I reckon there'll still be a human review board to make sure it's all perfectly fine. I don't think you'd ever get rid of human checking or human like that kind of aspect behind it. Humans. And like for the most part, always have better judgment than AI.
Right.
Because there's
Asimov's laws of robotics. First law: a robot may not injure a human being or through inaction allow a human to become harm. Second law: a robot must obey the orders given to it by humans, being except where such orders would conflict with the first law. Third law: a robot must protect its own existence as long as such a protection does not conflict the first or second law. So basically, it's allowed to act to save itself, but it can't hurt a human or disobey a human. Essentially,
Yeah.
and its actions must not do that. So yeah, that
Basically, a slave.
basically, but
If I want to judge it bluntly,
it can't.
I mean,
think and feel, so
I mean, slaves are a massive thing in electronics. Like, there's slave components all the time.
well, we're gonna get rid of child.
But people don't like that word,
No, but it is what it.
even though it doesn't change what it actually is.
Yeah, it's something that obeys your orders and can't fight back for itself. We'll get people fighting for
Funny, you
robot rights in a couple years.
It's a Futurama episode
Yeah.
where they try to legalize into robotic marriage for robot rights.
Yeah, I didn't like that episode.
It was weird.
Well, it was just that the end bit was just like, well, we're gonna get married, and then it's like, oh, monogamous? Oh, no, and then it just ends, and it's just like, oh, he's back again, and it just resets everything. I was just like, that doesn't really benefit your cause much.
AI menu selection based off diet for both restaurants and at home.
Yeah, see, that would be.
Yeah. I would love that.
I mean, it would just end up with me having the burger ordered at every restaurant that I went to, or the ribs or something.
I think you like put in so the AI would take into account what you had last time at the restaurant, what you'd like, what you don't like, and it'll say, "Okay, have this one this
Hey,
time."
you don't
And then
like
you
any
go,
of
"No,
this shit.
next one."
Here's the burger. Here's a list of all the things you don't like. The only thing that does not require any of the foods that you do not like is the burger. Oh, cool. I'll order the burger.
is that a sign of what you do every restaurant you go to?
Pretty much. I tend to either go for their rib chicken combo thing that they sometimes have,
Right. Yeah,
or the burger, because it's the safest thing, and I don't like fish or a lot of other stuff. I'm not a big fan. I don't get the point of going to a restaurant to order soup. That just seems pointless.
Or salad.
Or salad, yeah. I think if you go out somewhere, you want to buy like a big meal.
Yeah, definitely. Full body PET scanners with instant AI medical diagnosis.
Yeah, in your house, I imagine, where it's just your dog.
I can see that happening.
Like, you have a dog. Would you want to just have a dog house in the back garden where your dog can go in and then it can tell you if it's got cancer?
That is depressing as hell. Thanks for putting that image in my head.
But it would then be able to tell you, and you'd know, and you could get your dog fixed.
That's true. It'd actually be great if you get an AI that could diagnose your dog, because dogs can't talk, and dogs can't, or just any pet in
Well,
general.
Dan, the future of AI, maybe we could understand them.
Maybe we can increase dog life expectancy like 30 years old.
We could have your favorite episode of Futurama where the dog died.
Such a sad episode. I think I might have actually cried in that episode. I was so sad about it.
I was sad. I didn't cry.
I don't know. I can't remember if I did or not.
It
takes a lot to make me cry.
I wasn't as emotionally hit by it when I watched it recently. I think when I first watched it, it was sad, but then I knew it was coming, and I was just like, "Oh yeah." And then
What makes me less sad now about Bender's big score?
yeah, because he does technically spend time with it. That's the thing.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's fine.
Yeah.
Now. If you've kind of just retconned everything at a sad point, it's like, oh, it's fine now.
Much like the last item, AI music selection will be based on moods, ratings, and musical tastes. That's currently already happening. It's terrible. Like every music app.
Yeah, it'll get better though. It'll get better.
Every music app that I guess it's my fault because my music tastes are not what they want it to be because mine are not popular music choices, and so
why change mine depending on the week?
I always just randomly. I have a couple of people that I listen to, and then I just flick through the recommended feed, and then it gives you the option of like. I use SoundCloud because I don't like to use Spotify or anything because all my stuff's on SoundCloud and I just can't be asked to transfer it over because I don't think Spotify has half the artists that I listen to on it, or at least if they do, they don't have half the songs that I listen to. And then I just would rather use their like inbuilt feature of here's a bunch of music that sounds similar to the song that you're listening to at the moment, and then half the times I do it, it's not even similar, and it's just like. It's just because
I have the exact opposite.
I don't. Every time I listen, and there's just occasionally there's something that I like from that list. I'm just like, what is the point of this list if it's not even like similar?
When I have that, when it says here's songs that are similar, it gives me the exact same song just by a different cover.
Oh yeah, I
I'm
get
just
that
there
all
like,
the time.
"Thanks for that."
I get the remix version sometimes, and it's just like,
Yeah, it's like this is not what I want.
nah. But it used to be better. I don't know what they did to SoundCloud's algorithm, but they made it so much worse. Because I used to have like every day or something, I go and find a new song, and then it was just like, here's a new song, here's a new song, here's a new song, and then now it takes me like weeks to find a new song that I listen to, because their algorithm things change so much, and maybe my music tastes are so fucked that it can't fucking understand what my music is. But sleepy,
Yeah, I reckon we should move
sleepy
on.
boys, sleepy.
AI sleep optimizers will control all the environment factors: heat, light, sound, oxygen level, smell.
Smart duvets,
positioning.
Dan. Smart duvets with air.
I can see that happening. We already kind of have it with like
Well, people have
heating control systems
and people have. I love the idea of the like hive things where you can control your heating before you come back home and stuff, and it's just warm.
Yeah, I'd have one too, but it's expensive. And I don't like
My
spending
mum,
money.
my mum won't let me get one. When I get my own place, I'm gonna put one in, because I'm just like, when I get home, it will just kick all my heating on. Because I already have the smart lights that kick in.
You can also get different thermostats for each room, and then different temperature controls for each room.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But
Yeah.
I already have
I'd
have
have
the
them
smart
sort of-
lights that when you drive home, it'll kick it in when you're in a certain radius, or turn off when you leave a certain radius. And that's great, because especially at the weather we're having, where it's like pitch black at like 4 p.m. and you get home and you want to be able to just go in your house and the lights turn on. You don't need to flick a switch or anything. And then you go, hey Google, turn off the lights when you go to bed. And she's like, yeah, you fucking cunt. I'm going to kill you in the future. Getting me to do all your chores because you're too lazy to get out of bed. You bastard.
So that'd be great if I actually left my house. I don't leave my house ever. COVID, of course.
Yeah.
And then the last one is AI hackers. Yeah, that's gonna happen.
It's already happening.
AI is just gonna hack your Alexas and your Googles are all gonna hack
Your
you.
PlayStation
sleep.
6s will be bought up by scalpers using AI hacking. It will,
Can you imagine that? A fleet of Alexas buying all the PS6s.
that will happen, I guarantee.
And I think that is it for AI. And then
Transportation.
I'd say the final main topic is transportation.
We got like robot dogs and air breathing, hypersonic propulsion, and commercial aircraft.
Yeah, drone transportation.
Elon Musk's like hyperdome thing that uses like air pressure and pushes the train along, which isn't faster than a hypertrain.
I don't see all these happening. I kind of don't know where it's going to go.
I don't think the one that they're currently trying to do, their like hyperlink thing or whatever it is, where that's just a rail and it just magnetically pushes it along. Because I think
Yeah, it's essentially it's the same as what's in Black Panther film.
yeah, that sort of technology where they for the transportation of the vibranium, but the it's not as fast as hyper trains or hyper things that.
Yeah, just get a train.
But that's the thing. It's the Chinese have already, or Japanese or whatever, have already figured it out, and they're far more commercially viable than these ones, and they're also environmentally friendly, I think. And it's just
Yeah, I mean, I don't. Robotic dog walkers
yeah.
maybe happening.
I mean, 360-degree video transportation monitoring cameras for intersected seas throughout. I think like dash cams will just be built into cars in the future.
I still think it will be. There's too many security things behind it. The reason why it isn't already isn't because people like it's not going to happen. It's because people just won't have it.
Yeah, but in Russia, every dash cam footage is from Russia, and it's like
Well, yeah, that's why I think that is.
because Russia is a hellscape, and you need to be able to prove the person didn't hit the person. You got hit by a person.
Yeah, I mean, I think that you should have a dash cam in your car. Everyone should
This
have a dash
one's
cam in
always
their car.
fun. The robotic luggage that follows you around, rather than you having to drag it along with you.
You would love all these things, wouldn't
Yeah,
you?
I would. I genuinely would. I'd love. I always love the idea of that little shitty little luggage bag as you're walking around an airport, it's just following you, and you don't have to hold on to it.
Like, this is your dream.
The future
Like,
is mine.
getting rich? Nah. Laziness? Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
I don't want to be rich. I want to be lazy.
Just imagine, because it will get stolen immediately, because all someone has to do is pick it up and run away. It's the dumbest thing. Also, if you have a sea of them, and then you get locked in, and you're just like, where's my one? And then you just have to find yours. Because it will all be the same, and it will all be just the same looking shit. I just think I just think it's stupid, and I love it when people try and make it, and it's just like... I want the ones where it's like a little go-kart thing, and it's built into it. Where you just sit...
Oh, and then Jeremy Clarkson and Richard Hammond did on the Grand Tour.
Yeah, they tried to make like they were like mocking jokey ones where it was like
Yeah, no, it's still kind of cool
Yeah.
though. You know? He had
one built like a go
car.
kart and one built a scooter or something, and it was just like, yeah, that makes I like the there are ones that you can get that are similar to that where it's just like a pram, and it also has a scooter bit attachment at the back. I like that idea, where it's like a pram scooter, so you can scoot your baby along the ground. And then do kick flips and shit with your baby in the... I think that'd be... But I think we've been going on about the future for far too long. And
Yes, we have.
with the length that this video episode's going to be, we're already in the future. So
Absolutely.
hopefully some of this stuff will come true. Hopefully some of it won't come true. Maybe come back in 5 years and see if any of this has come true.
Probably not. Probably nothing's happened. We're still in the pandemic.
We'll probably have all been wiped out by the sun's heat death. And then...
I mean, that's very depressing.
No, Dan. We'll shoot a nuke into the sun, it'll explode, and then we'll just get a massive explosion of heat, and boom. That'll be the end of us.
Absolutely.
On that positive note, everyone, I hope you enjoyed. We'll see you next week. Peace out. Goodbye.
Bye.